Alright, it's been a while since I've done a video. Been busy looking into getting a new property. So lately, I've just been fixing up stuff around the house to get it ready for to sell in a couple months. So you can see I repainted everything. I'm redoing this countertop because over here in this corner the clear started chipping. So far all I did was give it a white primer and everything. I taped all the borders and stuff, and we're going to be doing the epoxy coat. I've done it before on a flat counter, but I haven't done it or seen it done with these raised sinks. And I tried to take them off, but apparently I glued them pretty good and I don't want to damage anything. So I'm going to try to pour them in place, and you can see they come out a little bit. So you see I primed all the way around them. That's the holes for the faucet. And this is like the little shelf that goes in the window. I just did this pocket door, which I was going to do a video, but I'm kind of strapped for time, so I just went at it. So another trick that I learned with the epoxy is to tape it. That way it floods good. And then once it's almost set up, take the tape off, and then it'll start dripping over this edge. And then put this tape here where it will drip off. Because here, on my last countertop I did, you're going to get a bunch of drips throughout this whole area right here. Put the tape, and then when you take the tape off, you get a razor blade and you could cut them right off. And it's a much smoother look, and it's less sanding, especially inside the house. So let me get some epoxy mixed up. I'll show you how we make the colors, and we'll pour it and we'll see how it comes out. Alright, so here we are outside. This is the stonecoat countertops epoxy resin that I have from a previous project. Also make sure you wear gloves because this stuff is sticky, and no matter how hard you try not to get it on you, it's going to get everywhere. Behind are just some spray paints that I had laying around for the colors I want to use. Some whites, grays, browns, bronze, kind of go with the bathroom. Here are the cups. After I mix everything in this one mixing cup here, it goes 1 to 1. I'll put a little bit into each cup, spray the spray paint, mix it together, and that's how you make the colors. And then after that, we'll pour them all back in here randomly and just pour it, and we'll see what we get. Usually gives you pretty good results. So let's see what we get. Start mixing it. And I did the calculator, and it said we needed about 36 ounces of epoxy, but minus the countertop or the sinks and all that stuff. So I'll probably do about 30 ounces. See what we get. Well, I guess we're only going to be able to do about 24 in this mixing cup. So we'll see how far that gets us. We could always make more. And the other key to epoxy is just making sure that you mix it really, really good. Make sure you don't leave anything not mixed, because it won't ever cure. So you want to mix probably for a minute or two. Make sure you get all the side walls, the bottom, and just keep mixing it. And it will turn into, you see like it's white yellow now. It'll turn into a solid color. And I'm pretty sure this turned yellow over time, because I'm pretty sure the first time I did it, it was clear. And don't rush, you got plenty of working time. The first time I did this, I was nervous and I didn't want it to harden. And I kind of didn't do as many designs as I wanted to. But you got plenty of time to work with this stuff. You could really take your time, do what you want, and it doesn't get hard. Alright. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. See, I'll probably just mix the white in this. instead of losing more material in a cup. There's no right or wrong way. Just get creative as you want. Now I have no more in here. I'll pour a little bit back. And my base coat, you want your base coat that you pour, it's just a little bit easier to be the color that you want mostly, which I want a mostly white countertop, so it works out. Alright, so I'm gonna spray some white spray paint. I'll just spray it in there. This is why we're doing it outside. And just mix that white paint with the epoxy. And now we got white epoxy. So that's white. I got some dark brown. Spray it in there. And again, you're gonna mix all these colors together anyway, so it really doesn't matter. Now we got like a hot fudge color. There you can see it. Do some silver. We got silver and some metallics. Okay, we got here bronze metallic. And I think because that other brown I have is very similar, it's just satin. I think I'm gonna leave 1 cup clear. And what I do usually is I'll just spray paint the top, and then with the stick, you'll get the color. And then you go putting veins on. And if not, I can mix another color later. And here's how our bronze metallic looks. It looks pretty nice with all the metallic flake in it. So, let me put this fork somewhere else. Put in the clear one. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put all the white on one side and see if I can pour this on the back. Pour some silver somewhere else. Pour another color. Oh fuck. And this is why you always make a mess. Let me go get a rag. Like I said, I mean, I'm using a little bit of a small cup, but I don't know, I've yet to be able to do this without making a huge mess. Alright, let's continue pouring them in there. You can save the cups, you can put it upside down in this later, and then you'll get all the little bit that's left in there. Alright, so here you can see kind of the swirl of color we got going on in there. Now we'll just go inside and pour it. All right, so we brought the epoxy to the bathroom. Here you can see this extra piece of tape that I put. That's to hold it from falling over in the beginning. And I also put plastic here because it is going to drip onto the floor. So let's see what we get. And just pour it on randomly. Wow, that is crazy looking right there. All right, I'm definitely gonna need more, so let me go get that last clear one that I have while it starts flowing out. And here, I'll get you a close-up of how those colors look. Look at that, how it just blends together. That's the cool thing about doing it mixed all in one cup. It'll give you designs that you can't do. It just flows differently. Let me go make some more. All right, I got our last bit of clear, and what I did as I poured it, I sprayed a little bit of paint, pour it, spray a little bit of paint, and it gave me some pretty interesting colors. So, probably should have left these outside. I'll put these down over here in the corner on top of the plastic. Let me pour this where it's kind of light. And again, there is no right or wrong way. You'll see sometimes it looks a little bit funny in the beginning. And as it starts flowing out, it'll look better and better as it goes. Let me get the fork and spread it out a little bit. I think I should just go mix some more. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go mix some more. Kind of like what the fork's doing. All right, let me go make another batch. All right, well here you can see just how much has flowed out in about 10 or 15 minutes. I made some more. I'm gonna see how I could pour it down in those hard to reach areas. I got some places here in the corners I gotta pour. So let's see what we do. Put the fork back in the plastic for now. Let me see how close I can get to this without getting it all over the sink. gotta do the back now. This is definitely going to be the hardest part. So you got a somewhat even finish back there. And I'm just going to get messy with it, start pushing the epoxy where it needs to go. And a little bit's getting on the sink, but it is what it is. Like I said, we have good coverage on the sides. Let me wipe this up here. Oh, trying to keep up a little mess and make a big mess. It's usually the story of my life. Definitely want to clean any of this up before it hardens, because once it hardens, it is not going to be fun to take off. Alright, got to push it over here. And just with your fingers, just push it where it needs to go, and it breaks that surface tension. And it'll go leveling back out. And I definitely knew these things were going to be a challenge. And it might not be perfect on the sides, but I don't know, you really don't see it that much, so it's not that big of a deal. Let me see what I can do on the back side. I can definitely feel that in some areas it's not coating. Once it starts flowing out, you can't entirely see behind the sink anyways. Everything I could see is coated. And then the little bit that drips off your fingers, just bring it around. Do what you want with it. Not a huge fan of this big brown spot here. So just put your finger in it. See if we can change up the way it goes. what you're doing, you're probably just dragging the paint from another place. That's putting that color in there. We got a ton of white paint back here we could drop in through here. Just don't be scared to play with it, because it will do amazing things once it dries up. But you also don't want to play with it too much, because every time you kind of play with it, you're mixing those colors together a little bit. So don't overdo mixing the colors. Alright, that looks like I got pretty good coverage there. I'll show you what it looks like now. A little close up. And then we'll go do that shelf with all the little excess that's in the cups. You can see what it looks like now, and we'll come back in a little bit and you'll see how all those colors will spread out in different ways. And you can see, let me angle the phone differently. I've gotten it around the front of this thing pretty good. Around the sides. What I don't have enough, because I used all the little bit I had, was I don't have enough to do a flood coat. So the color is going to be exposed. Look at how sweet that looks. All right, let me go do the, let's go do the shelf, and then we'll come check this out and see if we have to adjust anything. Take the border off and let it flood over. All right, so here we're outside doing the little window shelf. And all I did was I got all my cups, put them upside down, that way we're not wasting any material. See if I can make room for this one. And we'll see if we have enough to do this piece. I'll leave them upside down for a minute, that way it gets everything out. And I'll come back in a little bit, take the cups out and start spreading it around. Alright, so here you can see all the excess out of the cups. It's not that much, so I don't know how far it's going to get us. But we're going to try to get it done. So let's just push it around. I'll try to get all my edges first, and then I'll start working the material everywhere. We could push all the material to the back and then lean it forward. And it'll all come down to the front. And you can see I did the same border around it. I just didn't do the borders here on the sides because it's going to have to flow around. Just start mixing them all in. And once I'm done out here, I'm going to have to move this to the garage to dry. For some reason, the bugs love this stuff. They're a little bit too high because it keeps flooding in the back. Checked it with the level, but yes, I don't know. I put the level in the back so it starts, or spacer in the back so it starts coming forward. Now we'll just bring it forward a little bit. This This one's really not going to be as nice and the same kind of design, but it's all we got to work with, so.
I gotta come and walk with you, man.
What's up, man? Gotta stay busy.
Now, what you building now? Watch out, watch out.
A little shelf.
I'll put your man okay.
Yeah, that's okay.
No, the other one, the other day.
Oh.
You didn't see it?
No, I just saw it now. I thought that was today's.
No, that was. What was it? That's for the boat?
No, for my bedroom. For the
Oh.
bathroom. It goes on the window.
Okay. And you're in Jenny, bro. No, I gotta come and work with you, man. I wanna learn.
That's it. No, nobody's born knowing. Yes, sir. Yep. Now we'll just try to see if I can get some more out of this. Got these ends done. I don't think we're gonna have enough to do the front and the sides. We're already pretty thin up top. Tilt it forward. See if we get some more drip on there. It really fights just to break the tension to get past it. Once it gets past it, it'll flow pretty good. And this will start flowing pretty much the whole time it's curing slowly. If I would have bought the stuff new, I would have bought more. This is just what I had left over in a cabinet. From when I did the trailer. Trying to get it to sag where I want it. There we go, now I got a nice drip going. better when you have a lot up here. The design will actually flood down. Which it still might as it cures. And there we go. We got it all covered for the most part. So I'll put it in the garage and we'll check it on a little bit. All right, let's go back inside and see how it's coming out inside. All right, here you can see how the colors are starting to separate. And it doesn't look so much like I dragged everything with my finger. It looks more natural now. As it starts kind of curing and doing whatever chemical something or other that it's doing. So now we're going to take off the tape that's holding that flood in and let it flood over. And make sure that your plastic is kind of covering everything. Over here has me a little bit nervous that I put a little bit too much to this side. So we're just going to take this tape off. And as you can see, it's already starting to drip over the edge. Over there, it doesn't look like it wants to though. So as time goes, I'll start patting it down, maybe breaking the tension over there with my hand. Got a big drip over here. The edges, I've never had as much luck as them coming out as nice as the top. They always kind of have a little bit of drips. And I've tried sanding them, but you just have this edge here so close that I've burned through multiple times. So I kind of just leave the edge. However it comes out is how it stays. Let me see if I can get some excess from over here. Start putting it over here. Corner here just leaked everything out of the end. Still a little bit from the back. My faucet hole is full of epoxy. And I don't know if this is from before. No. Get this drip, put the drip somewhere where we're light. Like I said, this is gonna drip all night probably. And I think I'm gonna stop messing with it there. All right, one very important step is you're gonna have to blowtorch all the bubbles out of the countertop. Let me see if I could bring you closer so you see what I'm talking about. See all those raised areas? I don't know, they're really hard to see on the camera. But you can see that it's not glass anymore. Those are all air bubbles. So the torch will pop all those bubbles. You're just gonna get the torch, go over the whole area quickly, and you could also push a vein. If you had a vein that you didn't like the way it came out, you could push it with the flame, but I'm not gonna mess with anything. I'm just gonna pop the bubbles. And you can see as you're going over it, you'll see the little bubbles popping. Let me see if I can take the phone off. See if you can see it. Let me see if there's any bubbles left. It's not focusing now. There we go. You can kind of see all those white specks are kind of where the bubbles were. It could have been a bubble of one color, and then when it pops, you're kind of left with whatever color was below it. That's what gives me all those. Majority of them are white specks. There you can see like a gray speck right there, a brown speck. So I'll see when we come back in a little bit. You're gonna have to do this a couple times. When I come back in a little bit, I'll see if there's any, and I'll do a close-up of popping the bubbles. Here it is about an after the pour. You can see how much drips off the edge. The edge actually came out pretty good, and you can see that the design has kind of flowed down. So it's not like a solid cutter edge. This is that side that was a little bit light. So you can see in some places, you can see that white shining through. But other than that, it came out really good. You can see how nice the colors have separated here, how natural looking it looks. I got a little bit of epoxy there on the sink I'm gonna have to clean. But I don't want to mess with anything today. You can see the gloss on it and how smooth that finish is. Here's the other side where it has a little bit more of that metallic bronze in one spot. How cool it looks with the metallic in it. And that light you see is just a reflection off the gloss. That's how shiny it is. See, the light goes away. You can see how smooth it is. The other thing I did, I took the tape around off the borders. Just be careful because over here, I pulled the tape back instead of kind of at an angle. And I peeled a little tiny piece of this corner here. And I grabbed some of this here and kind of dabbed it on and put it back. But it's already kind of hard and tacky. So it's definitely not that good. Like, to go over there and touch that up is already too late. But honestly, it doesn't look bad. It just looks kind of like all those circles. So that is pretty much it. I'm pretty happy with the way it came out. It looks much better than what it looked like. Here is how the window shelf looks like an hour later. You can see all the metallic there. See if it focuses. Looks pretty good. I leaned it forward to get a little bit more dripping off the edge. And how it's so thin in material on this one. You can see there on the back side where you can see a little bit through the white. But again, it's going to be on the back side all the way to the end. It was a little bit tilted that way. So this edge here kind of lost a little bit, and you can see it's real deep over there. But by the time I put the caulking around this to the wall, you shouldn't see that much of it. And this is to go in the closet, so I don't even think you're going to be seeing it much. I just did it as a little project to do with all this extra. That's pretty much it for this shelf. So that's pretty much it for this video. Quick little short video. Tomorrow, after it's done curing, we'll take all the tape off. And that's it. But the design is not going to change from what it is now. It's already too tacky. So this is going to be pretty much the final product. Alright, well, stay tuned for other small little projects I'll be doing around the house to get it ready to sell. And hopefully the other property will come out, and that will be the biggest project yet of building a house from scratch. Take it easy. If you like the video, subscribe, hit the like button.